Hey everybody, this is Grace. In this video, I'm going to talk about, well, I'll start off with this. I had wound up taking a nap today. I don't know, I guess I was just I felt really exhausted. And I haven't been feeling all that great. Like, quite a bit stressed out, and I did it to myself. I know I did it to myself. And, over days, maybe weeks now. But, and I think it was accumulative over months, really. And when I woke up from this nap, I had this really weird, odd feeling. And it was, I guess it was a little bit of a dream, I guess, that I was walking in the backyard of a property I used to own, a house, in the land, of course, in the house. And back in my old hometown. And I was walking into it. It was a little bit different than what it was. And my feeling was all of this was stolen from me, taken from me. And that was in that dream when I was waking up. Well, in order to remember a dream, from what I recall, you have to wake up while you're still having it. And so, anyway, it just kind of shook me a bit, shook me awake, really. And the reason why is because so much of my own past, my own life was taken from me in a sense. And it was just one of those wake-up calls. I've always heard, I'm not much into this kind of stuff, but I've always heard people say, or often heard people say, that a house is the soul of the dreamer. Okay. Now, when I have dreams about houses, and I have recurring dreams about houses, usually old houses, and that they are difficult, and that was the old house in my dream, but they were hard to maneuver through, or there were a lot of rooms I didn't know that they were there, and they're kind of like spooky a little bit. Yeah. So that's my soul. But a lot of ones I haven't traveled through, or I'm afraid to, but some of them I do, and when I do, I'm glad that I did, or, yes, they could be my soul, Anyway, and then as I was waking up, I was thinking, yeah, I have been having a little bit of homesickness, because I haven't been there, and, well, let's see, February, it's November now, February was 7 years, or January was 7 years. And that I've been to my old hometown. And so it's going on 8 years in February, 8 years. So, I noticed a lot of it. I did a video about, more than one video actually, about people they call the golden child. Like in a family, the siblings think of it in those terms. Now, to me, the golden child is a kind of a pop psychology kind of thing. I've not found it in any scholarly research. It would hint at a scapegoat, but a scapegoat in a family system is a bit different than what people think that it is. In research, the scapegoat, I remember this from way back when I was a student at university. Scapegoat was someone a child that did misbehave, did get into trouble, did do things wrong. Now, the narcissistic child, in a narcissistic family, what people call that pop psychology, I'm not a fan, but if I'm going to talk about it, I'm going to have to use it. The scapegoat is kind of like a mixture of, well, that could be the golden child could be what they're calling it, which is actually a scapegoat. They do get in trouble, but it's because they're rebelling, possibly, not all this one size fits all, but they're rebellious against the parent that's trying to tell them, the narcissistic parent that's trying to mold them and groom them into what they want them to be, so they can take the glory from it. So that child represents them. And what, like I said, they get bragging rights and all that, and the child doesn't want it, so the child is going to be misbehaving, and then it represents the problems in the family in a way that is the scapegoat. That is what is considered a scapegoat. But it's a little twisted way. Yeah. In other words, than what you will find in scholarly journal articles, and you won't find, I have not yet found the golden child. Okay, now, got all that out. Okay, now, I know that little thing is showing in the corner right there. Now, I can speak of this from my own personal experience in life. Oh, yes. My dad tried to make me his golden child. I rebelled. I refused. I wasn't going to be that. It didn't matter. Seriously, it did not matter to him, to anybody at all. I had 4 siblings, cousins, aunts, uncles, extended family, grandparents, one set of my mother's side. No matter what, they continue to see me, all of them, in a certain light, no matter whether I wanted it to be this way, no matter what I wanted to be. Did not matter to anybody. I already was, because they had defined me in their minds, and that was it. They had defined me as the golden child. They didn't use that term, but that's how they defined me in their minds, and they continued to treat me that way for as long as they lived. My parents are gone, my grandparents are gone, all my siblings are alive, my cousins as far as I know, but not all my aunts and uncles. So, yeah. Okay, now depending on which channel I decide to put this on, I'd made that video, and I've made a video before on that channel that I put that on. I actually made it for two videos and put it one on a different channel because I messed up on it. Anyway, the second one. But anyway, yeah, I can speak from this. What is the whole pop psychology? What I can speak through this. They defined me. They put a definition on me, and they put a label on me. The term and the definition, and that to them, that's what I was. No matter what I was, no, I was not what they thought, and I did not get what they thought, and they refused to believe that I did not get what I wanted. They didn't. They refused to believe that it wasn't this picture in their mind that I had this rosy life, that I had everything that I ever wanted, that all those things. They refused to believe it. And I didn't even realize it. I'm serious. I did not realize it. That we didn't have this kind of information out there when I was young. And, I had actually married young, moved around, then went to attended, university, colleges and universities, because I was moving around. I was very nomadic. Different colleges and universities and different states. And then by the time I got to graduate school, it wasn't something they focused on. And like I said, if it's not going to be in any kind of scholarly research, you think they're going to teach it? No. Unless they would say something like I'm saying, this is pop psychology, it's not, I don't even know if I would call it pop psychology, but maybe, yeah. So, no, there weren't the words and the concept weren't in front of my face ever. But it wasn't until, I don't even remember what year that was, sometime in the 1990s, that my mother, who never, she saw me as, she had a postpartum depression, and I'm not saying every mother that has postpartum depression does this, but she really had thrown me aside. She just threw me away. The stories I heard from my dad about it, she didn't want to have anything to do with me. She was afraid she was going to kill me, and on and on. And she was only a mother to me twice that I remember. Once when somebody I knew was dying, and then on this one. And this one was about when somebody threatened me in the family, threatened me. And I didn't realize that person had been threatening me with chance of shooting me. I'm going to put it just flat out there. That always carried a gun was not from Texas, just for the record. It was an in-law. And any family get-together that person was there had a gun because they might shoot me. Nobody told me. It was like they felt that I would deserve it if that person felt the need, because of the definition in their mind of me, who was not who I was. It was just how they saw it. Whew, man, this stuff can go deep. I'm serious. And, yeah, you know, a histrionic, one with very, I'm not saying the diagnosis, but one with very histrionic behaviors was the one that was pushing that one. Yeah, imagine. Also, you know, my mother basically, she let me know, she didn't let me know that one came with time, but she let me know that, she flat out told me that all my siblings were, you know, are jealous of me, that they thought that I got all the attention from my dad. And I said, well, they could have had his attention if they really wanted. I wouldn't have wished that on my worst enemy, really. And she was very angry too. I could see it in her. She had been jealous too, and that they felt like I got all that attention, and she was jealous because she also felt that way, and it was not attention I wanted. So, and anyway, she let me know that, you know, she said, all your siblings, none of them are your friends, and they will never be your friends in your life. And it's true. I went no contact with them in December 2012, and after that my mother passed, and my dad had already passed, and basically there were, you know, here and there were reasons to, you know, speak to one another, legal and so forth. But I have been distant. I had really been distant from them since I was 18. I'm 58, so for 40 years, but much more since 2012 when I told them, don't ever contact me again. I want nothing to do with any of you. There. Whew, that was a lot. Okay. So where was I? I looked at a woman walk by with her dog, a cute dog. Anyway, so yeah, I know what I speak of. I mean, from my experience, and I don't at all think that I'm alone in this. And I have mentioned it before when I was doing a little series of my own life experience. I think that was when I mentioned it, and that the child does not have a choice on if a parent wants to make them, when they are a child, to make them the golden child, what the other ones may, you know, call the golden child. And it's out of their own jealousy. It's not the child's fault. It's that parent's fault, or both parents' fault. Okay? When one parent tries to groom them to be that way. And what it seems to be from the child, the other children, the other siblings, or sibling, is that when it's getting all that they want, maybe they should, you know, as an adult, ask, is that what you wanted? Do you think that you deserve that? Now, I want to say I couldn't find any research on certain things, but I did find something that may come close to it also, something else. There's more modern research. I found one article, don't have it with me, but one scholarly journal article, I think it is, and it was some research, and they were talking about the helicopter parent, and the child that becomes a mastermind, and that child has learned to expect to get what it wants. Okay, so that could be it. That's the only one, and I've only read part of it, and it barely mentions it because it's not about that. It's about the scapegoat. The research was mainly about the scapegoat child and the which other one? Because they mentioned more than one. The lost child, I believe. So, and it was about depression. So, you know, from dysfunctional families. Finding anything just under dysfunctional families, that's something current, something new. I don't believe in just going by anything that's just new. It's just something new. It takes a while for things to be accepted in the scientific community. When I was a student, they said that it's 20 years. for it to really be accepted in the scientific community in something in like psychology and sociology, and to get out to I think it takes less than that, but it takes 20 years to get out to the general public, because it's gone through that many years, and it's accepted, and it's put out there. Oh, I'm losing my voice. Okay, but with these days, with so much, the pop psychology throwing something out there, and then somebody takes it and they put a little label on it, and then it gets accepted as fact when it's, or scholarly, it's, this is the name for it. Like somebody had once told me that, when a narcissistic person is has somebody, they get somebody in their life just so they can use them basically to advance their career. They marry somebody so that person will do all the homemaking, and all that, just to advance their own career, so they can advance their career and have everything done for them. They say that it's called a puppet, and I'm like, really? But anyway, people will put out, some people, not everybody, we know that, they'll just put out because they've heard this, and therefore that it is what it is, that they think that is the definition. My goodness. Or that is scholarly. Somehow it's not. Some of these things are not. And I remember when I first started seeing videos, I had done on one channel, it might be the one I put this on at the end, but I had made the channel for a different reason. And then one day I just started talking about narcissistic people and on a video, and I put it up, and then it started recommending to me other people. I had no idea. I had absolutely no idea that there were people who did videos on it at that time. Ooh, the sun is getting me. I can't even see where the road is. But I had no idea about that. Other people did it. And it started recommending me. And the first one that it recommended to me, I'm telling you, that woman, there was a big scandal later on, but I could tell right away. I'm like, she was a scam artist. She's no longer on. And I made a comment, early on. And basically she came back and she hit my channel, telling me that it was trying to do the woe is she kind of thing. No, I knew what she was from the start. But some of the things that I realized right off the bat was not everybody, but the ones I was running across back then, that was almost 7 years ago, 6.5 years ago, they were throwing out stuff, and I had been teaching college and university and everything. And I'm like, that's not true. That is not the definition. No, that's wrong. And I was afraid of watching them, other people, because you know how you can start to mix up fact and fiction. And that's the difference, the scholarly research versus what just pop psychology kind of thing, the way I define it in myself, that people just make up stuff, words and terms for things, and throw them out there. And they have nothing to back it up other than their opinion. Okay, they're not educated in the field. They're don't have the credentials for it. And I don't watch them anymore. I haven't for years. And then I started seeing scams, people doing scams. I really stopped watching. I didn't want to be associated. I almost completely stopped making them because I didn't want to have anything, be any way associated with that kind of thing. Yeah. And anyway, how'd I get from there to here? But yeah, I'm putting this out there. If I'm going to talk about this, what people call the golden child, I have to insert that, and kind of add to and tear apart and all that, the part that is the pop psychology, and mix my own with it to kind of show I can understand. Okay, this is going to be hard to explain. But I have been, once again, giving myself a little refresher course in the terminology used for dysfunctional families. And like I said, that could be what's these days considered the mastermind mixed with the scapegoat. but in a twisted way, of what they call the golden child. And the twisted way would be from the siblings that cannot see through what was real. They only remember what was in their mind as a child, and they've used that their whole life. You know, there's jealousy, that deep-seated, rooted, deep inside of them. Anger, jealousy, resentment they have toward the child who was abused too, the one they call the golden child, instead of the parent that ignored them, the parent that gave that child the most attention and ignored them and didn't give them what they wanted, but gave it to the one they thought the golden child one. You see what I'm saying? Whew. Yeah. Move again. I had to delete a clip because there were kids, and I don't put other people's kids in my videos, so there were kids at the park. But anyway, I'm interested in finding out more about the helicopter parent or parents, and what comes from it, the mastermind, and what's the other one they listed? Okay, there are different people who did research, and those were on. Many of them were on children from back in the 70s and 80s. They were, I remember these. They were about parents who were alcoholics, or a parent, an alcoholic family. But they were also seen way back when. They felt like they could also be seen in any kind of dysfunctional family. Lots of debate on if they could, but they had different names for them, like, I am not going to pronounce this right, the placater. Yeah. There were different ones, the hero, the mascot, the hero, mascot, what else? There were 3 of them defined, and I'm going to mix them all up, so I better not do that. But nowadays, like I said, I couldn't find any research, so I'm kind of interested to go through that one that I had. I didn't print out the references on it, though. And but look and see what others I can find that are actually scholarly journal articles. Now, a person can just go in and type in, some call it Google, and Google it and whatever it is, and find plenty of stuff like the golden child, as if it is so, and you can find it by people who are degreed in this field, or even counselors and whatnot. But I have not seen it in any scholarly journal article. Now, I don't have any textbooks since I taught way back then, anything new. So, yeah, I don't know if they would be in textbooks that they would teach at university, college and university. As I was saying, it's so easy to blend fact and fiction. Okay, if you hear enough on the internet, what I see, it's not fact, not always. It's just somebody's opinion, and somebody made that up. Somebody decided. I can say, okay, and some people would say, like, if I were that type, I would say my experience is everybody's experience. And no, I will never say that. Okay, I will never say that it's 100% across the board in these kinds of things. And you could hear me say that many times. One size doesn't fit all. I think that it even states that in my description under this video on YouTube. That I believe that one size does not fit all in these kinds of things. And some of it is research that has changed over time. They've had time to do more research. So, anyway, I'm running out of time on my phone, so I better wrap this up. I'll talk to y'all in another video. Bye. No. Okay, as I'm running out of time on my camera, which is my phone. But anyway, I do want to say I'm going to do more on this, but since like I said, I'm running out of space on my cell phone / camera. So anyway, I'll do more later if I can. Talk to y'all in another video. Bye.